Let me ask, how have you improved your life lately? And the choices are you're spending a lot more time cultivating inner strength by virtue of everything that is happening. You're staying more active physically. You're trying to live in the present moment and trying to absorb everything that is happening. You're nurturing family time, emphasis on the quality, not the quantity, because we know that you're spending more time with the family, but it's this quality time that you're nurturing. Finally, I can avoid all the commute stuff and all the noise and all the distraction. I can dedicate to my work. Or feel free to answer with just not chat, but put in the QA any questions that you may have if you have another alternative. So we'll put that out and we'll leave it there. And then we're going to continue to play here and we'll come back to that polling question in a minute. But similar to that poll, let me go around here. How are you dealing with change and uncertainty today? I mean, we fight it and then we lean into it. So, I'm curious about understanding, from your perspective, what does that look like for you? Kelly, you want to take that?
Sure. So we got hired by a major soft drink company. You can guess who it is. It's one of two. To do a virtual workshop on resilience, and I was working on it. And my wife, who is also a longtime improv teacher and a comedy professor, was walking by and asked me what I was working on. And she goes, "Oh, I got an exercise for you. It's called Wish, and this is something she developed in her program. And what you do is you have your students get a piece of paper, and you have them write down a wish that they have right now that they could do. And for me, it was like swimming in salt water, like swimming in the ocean. And then you have them write down next to that, what is the emotion that they might feel when they did that thing? And so for me, it was like, I think it would be refreshing. She goes, okay, now in the third column, write down something you can do right now to feel that emotion. So I wrote down splashing water on my face, taking a walk, meditating. I mean, right? So this idea of, yes, it's bonkers out there, and there's all these issues. But back to our earlier point, you frame this. You bring your own context, and sometimes that can be very simple if you allow it to be. So I keep my body in shape. I work out every day. And then I try to simplify, become less complex, and look at what I can take care of in my immediate vicinity right now.
That is outstanding. I mean, I can't say enough about how much I hear, show up with your mind, show up with your body as a way to deal with what it's out of your control. So that's awesome, Kelly. Eddie, how about you? How are you dealing with uncertainty now?
Well, part of it is what I said before. I'm trying to figure out who I am and what I am and what I want from my life. And now on top of everything, we've got the coronavirus and finally the issue that has been really critical to me my whole life, which is the issues around social justice and equality. And that's what I've been doing my whole life is working on the empowerment of women and minorities, both in the civil rights movement and the peace movement and the women's movement and the human rights movement. And so for me, I have to be able to focus, which is very hard because of the loss of my beloved Mort, and learn compassion and understanding and how to be more self-aware, because since we do have the time, and now I'm alone, so I have the time to think about, be introspective about who I am, what is important in my life, what are my priorities, and who I want to connect with that makes me feel good and makes me pursue my goals, which is still the same as it has been all of my life. It's just harder today.
Eddie, I want to be like you when I grow up. The types of questions that you're asking yourself, I really hope that I had embrace a lot younger. That's a lifelong journey. So good for you. Harry, how about you?
Yeah, well, I really appreciate Hetty's comments and Kelly, because I think we're all, again, even I didn't know them, very, very similar. The way I think about all these things is that there's certain things that, if we're honest, can overwhelm all of us, right? Worry, fear, anxiety, pressure, stress, and it can just overwhelm you. And to me, way of dealing with all of this is what I refer to as being self-reflective. Some people would refer to it as prayer. But as crazy as our lives are, as busy as our lives are, taking a little bit of time every day to ask yourself a series of questions. You know, what are my values? What's my purpose? What really matters? You know, if I only have another week in my life, what am I going to accomplish and what matters? Is it success? Is it significance? Is it my resume or my legacy? And I think by taking some time to really think about that on a daily basis, what ends up happening is worry, fear, anxiety, pressure, and stress can be significantly reduced. You can never eliminate it. We're human, so welcome to the human race. But I think by being reflective enough, you figure out how you're going to deal with things. And I mentioned to Orlando to students, I decided a long time ago as a result of my daily self-reflection, there's only two things I ever have to do. Number one, I'll try to do the right thing with a lot of people's help because I won't figure that out by myself. So I'll ask Kelly, I'll ask Hetty. I got to get some really good people that'll help me figure out in an uncertain world what's the right thing to do. And the second thing is I'll do the best I can do. And I got to tell you, it sounds overly simple, but if you can convince yourself that no matter what happens, I'll try to do the right thing, I'll do the best I can do, worry, fear, anxiety, pressure, and stress can be significantly reduced. And it has an enormous impact, right? So now we've got COVID, now we got racial injustice, we got all these things. It either overwhelms you or you say, okay, yeah, as my grandfather would say, that's why they call it work. So let's do the best we can and try to make a difference. But that ability to put it in perspective, I think, is key, or it just will just overwhelm you.
You know, Harry, and
I just want to, one addition is
Yeah.
there's a Yiddish expression, and it sounds much better in Yiddish than in English. And it is very much what you were saying. Man plans, women and men plan, and God laughs.
Yeah.
So we have to keep that in perspective as well.